Hey guys, girls, pixies, and unicorns, and other magical creatures. This is Bany here, gonna talk about resources and how to gather them in the game of Conqueror's Blade. So first off, I'm gonna talk about what are they used for, these resources, then where to get them, and how to get them, and then I'm gonna talk about the most efficient way to do so. So one thing you can actually use these resources for is for the artillery. So if you go over to the artillery craftsman, you'll see that you need some sort of resources or kind of resources to build certain items like a cannon. You'll need 200 coarse copper, 200 iron, some seasoned wood, and some rough stone. For unit kits, they can also be used. So let's see here. If you go to unit kits, you'll see, for example, the halberdier kit. You'll need some planed wood, cast iron, and cheap fabric. Now, these are refined resources, so you'll need to refine your raw resources first. And we'll do this at the refinery overseer. And this is where our raw resources will come from or will go once we gather them outside in the open world. So, for example, if you want to craft an uncommon raw iron ingot, we'll need some hematite, some limonite, some magnetite, or some siderite ores. So, how to gather these resources? So if we go and look on the map, we'll see that there are resource nodes all over the map and the region we are in Jongoveria. So the resource nodes, you can see here, for example, is an Imperial logging camp, which only is usable during a quest line. We see here the Coprite copper mine, a farm, a tannery, and a quarry, for example. And then we have a stable or a yard that yields horses. So first off, I'm gonna show you how to gather these and where to gather these. If you're in my house, you'll see that we have some territories that belongs to our allies and of our house. So Sambalak, for example, is one of those which we hold this territory. Hersekvara as well and Delretek we do own as well for now. Of course, this can change at any time, but I'll just explain how these things work. So if you walk over to there in the open world, you can normally gather some sheepskins from the tannery here, some food from the farm, and some copper from this copper mine. But you see now that the status is exhausted, which means all the resources there are already being gathered by other players. So you'll need to wait a certain amount of time in order to go and gather there. So you'll see that they are all exhausted, except for the Stanson quarry. But don't be discouraged, because we can gather copper elsewhere. The main benefit of having thieves and doing these territory wars is that you can actually go and gather resources with a lower tariff. So, for example, this copper mine normally would cost a lot more because you need to pay taxes if this is not your house's fief or house territory. But because this is our house territory, you only need to pay around 2,000 bronze to go and gather here. So, because these are exhausted, I'll need to go and look for another place where I can gather some resources. Let's see here. Oh, this is a freehold farm where the collection is prohibited. So this is from another alliance that actually prohibits us from gathering resources in their lands. So this is a bit of a downside in that they have a lot of territory right now where we can't gather, but we still have some places where we can go now. For example, here we can get some sheepskins here, and it is permitted, so we can actually go here and gather our resources. A copper mine where we can gather, another tannery, and some food. So for this video, I'm just going to go to the quarry and show you how it's done. And actually, I might go get some other resources like the horses, but for now, we're just going to go to the quarry. Let's go. The most efficient way in gathering resources is to get out 5 serfs and level them up to level 7. So they get in their veterans tree, they get added bonuses for gathering resources. I'll show you this real quick. So yeah, this is my barracks. Got a lot of stuff in here. Um, so I'm going to go to my highest level serve here and show me the veterancy tree. So you'll see here that it's an elite serve. It has the bottom tree unlocked completely, which means for the first node in here, you'll see that it's increased collected resources by 20%, which is very nice, of course, if you want to go and gather resources. Because it does cost bronze, and to reduce the bronze cost and get the most yield out of gathering resources, you want these perks in here. So this is one, and this is also one for the collection of the resources. But this bottom tree also gives you added soldiers to the unit. So that means more soldiers, more resource gathering, of course. And it also does reduce the losses in open field battles and just food consumption all around. So, yeah. So we're going to go and move over to the Watchman, where we are going to leave the thief. And I'll show you how it's done and how you can see what your labor is, which means, for example, the labor is now low. It's at 0 because I don't have any units. But basically, if I go and try to gather resources, I will gather 0 resources from this. So let's just add, for example, my Bany spearmen. They have a labor of 5.6, which is not that great. But if I remove these and go to my serfs, I should actually level these up to 7 because then I'll have the resource gains. You'll see that's 11.2 for the level 9. So that's a lot better than the Bany spear guards. That's why I suggested taking 5 serfs to gather resources, because that yield and that labor will be the most that you can get in the game. If you get them all to level 7, you'll get around more than 50 labor, which is quite a lot for gathering resources. If you just go for 1 and you'll take some other units with you, you'll see that the yield will be a lot less. So I'm just going to take some standard stuff. So it's only 30. So you'll see with the serves that I had at 46, which is a lot more. So yeah, I'm going to take my serfs out. I'm going to go into the field. So I normally stack about 4 and do take 1 defensive unit with me, like the spear sergeants, just to make sure if I get attacked in the open world, I can defend myself better because I don't want to lose the resources I'm going to gather. So basically, if another player attacks you in the open world and he wins from you, you'll lose some resources that are in your wagon. And the wagon is, I'll show you here. So the wagon is actually a place where you can store the resources you can gather. You can also get or take some stuff with you that you have in your supply dump in the city. So I can just show you here, for example, a cannon. I can jump in a cannon. You'll see it fills up quite nicely, but then it's in my wagon. And if I go into the open world, I'll have those cannons with me. But for now, we're not going to use these, of course. We're just going to enter or leave the thief with no resources or anything in our wagon to gather the most supplies we can. There we go. We're just going to leave the thief. So yeah, let's go. So if we open the map, I said we were going to the quarry, so that's what we are going to do. So I'm just clicking there. If you click it directly or go to, you can actually just AFK and let your character move there, because it does take some time to actually move there. But in the meantime, I'm going to talk about other stuff in the game, like lines. So at the top right of your screen, you'll see the upload speed, download speed, etc. of the game, but you'll see something else like a line. A line basically is the server you are playing on. People that are in line 1 cannot see the people that are in line 2 and in line 3 and in line 4, etc. So if you want to go to a less populated server, you can just by clicking onto, for example, line 4, you'll transfer there, and the chance of there being a lot of other people will be lower because the normally if you spawn into the game, you'll start at line 1. So if you just switch over, you can actually be more safe that way. But for now, I'm going to stay at 1 because if I get attacked, I want to show you something as well. So yeah, now we're just going to walk over there. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to explain other units. If, for example, you don't have the serfs and you don't want to invest in them, you can also still take the pike militia, which are actually peasants as well. If you can see, they're peasants as well, and they do yield more resources than other types of units in the game. Woodcutters are also quite good because they have feudal laborers, which means their labor will be better than other units. But for now, like I said, the most efficient way is to get out 5 serfs. I'm doing it with 4 with some protection, but that's the best way to do it. So we're moving over. We were in an allied territory where we couldn't be attacked, which is the base zone of Turulvarus. Now we are in our allied territory, which we own at this time, Sambalak. If we get attacked here by other players, we will have to fight them. So now just moving over. So this is a player. If he wants to, he can attack me, but I doubt he will. We'll see. That's why you can actually better switch lines if you don't want to do battles. If you go to line 3 or 4, there's bound to be less people there. So I know that he's moving up towards me, but because there is no screen that says here that you are being pursued, you don't need to worry that he's going to attack you for now. He also sees that I have no wagon here, so he knows that I have no resources. So yeah, we entered the sandstone quarry. Just click it. You'll see that we have a screen pop up where we can see the resources that we can gather, which is sandstone here. We have some exotics like niter and coal. These exotic products are used to create higher tier of refined resources. For example, if you want to make an uncommon ingot, you won't need these. If you want to make a rare one, you will need exotic resources to make them. But I'll explain this in another video. So basically we have some other information on the screen. We have the reserves where you can see how much is left of the resources in the camp. You have the tariff which you'll need to pay. You have the daily yields, requisition tariff, the requisition required, and the labor. So basically the tariff, this is what you'll need to pay for your daily yields. If we do not own this fief, you'll see that there are in brackets tax, like 50%. You'll need to pay 50% more bronze to gather those resources then. But because this is our territory and our resource, we can actually gather here without paying the taxes. The daily yields are the number of times you can actually use this resource node. So we have 2 here, so we can actually gather twice from this spot and pay the tariff twice. So that means if I want to do this twice, I need to pay 1,000 bronze. Then we have the requisition tariff, which is actually the same than the normal tariff. But if you go on to other places which we don't own, you'll see that the requisition tariff is something you don't need to pay taxes on, but you'll need a requisition order for it. And I'll show you in a sec what that is. And then you'll see the labor on it. So we left the camp with 24 and a bit labor. So that's still here because we didn't get attacked, we didn't lose any units. So that's why it's still the same. So what's the difference between a tariff and requisition? It's pure the tax and the daily yields. So you can only do 2 daily yields on this node if you just pay the tariff. But if you have enough requisition orders, you can do this as many times as you want. But of course you need these. So I'm going to show you. These are requisition orders. I have 77 of those in my inventory right now. So I can basically, if I want to, use these node for 77 times. But of course I'm not going to do this now. So I'm going to show you if I gather from this. I paid 500 bronze for this, and you'll see it's going to tick up. So these are the resources that are going to end up in my wagon for now. And you'll see, because I pressed gather, which is the daily yield, I'll have 1 less daily yield. So it used to be 2, now it's 1. So I can press gather again. I'm going to do this for the video. It will go down to 0. Now the reserves are spent in this one, so I'm going to move over to another resource file. So where can I gather something else then? Let me see. So these are all enemy territories. I won't be able to collect here, but we'll see that we have some horses here where I can go and collect, which I might do actually. I'm just going to move over there. So this is for us at this time enemy territory, which you'll see. If you hover over any fief, it's red and it means it's hostile. So if you move over to our Ersekvara, which is allied occupied, it's friendly to Corvus Tempesta, it's our other house that occupies this, so this is a friendly territory. So you'll see now as well that our food consumption is going down. If it reaches 0, you cannot gather any resources anymore. The food in your supply will go down as long as you're not in a friendly or allied territory. So now I'm being pursued by rebels, by the way. I'm gonna start this battle for now. I can show you actually how it's done properly here as well. So I'm gonna do this real quick in this video. You can skip this if you want. So yeah, that's why I always take a defensive unit as well for rebels or any other types of enemies that attack me. So that I can actually do this quite quickly and don't lose a lot of time and resources and units. So basically what I do for this is I go to the supply point, put my spear sergeants into a skill transformation and literally let them run into it and die. So they do have archers in this. So I'm gonna just walk over there and kill them with my hero. So I don't need to lose any of my units. They won't be able to kill me because they are just an easy rebel that attacks me. So I can just go up and kill them without losing any of my units. So I'm being attacked now. If you want, you can just run back at this point. Go back to the supply point where your units are and let them kill the enemy for you. So yeah, that's done. They're dead. I'm gonna move up to attack the other archers right now. Gonna kill them real quick, like this. And this should, oh, there's still one left there. Didn't see one. Just gonna quickly ult him. So it's done. So this one is a two-faced one apparently. So there is a elite in this one. So we're just gonna stay in here, gather our troops, and move them over to the point where they're gonna attack from, which is that way. As you can see, they're coming. So those elites, they can actually do some damage to your units, but because I'm a Polex, I'll show you how to do this real quickly. I'm gonna put this on follow commander. Gonna run over here, stun him, kill him. That's it. Move back over to the supply point if you can. Well, if you kill the hero, you'll actually see that the battle is over anyway, if there is a hero attacking you. But if it's just units, you'll need to kill them all. And just stay at the supply point. let your units heal up, kill the enemy units. Don't lose any kits that way, and you can just go up and attack the archers if there are any archers in there by yourself, and you'll be fine. It's not a problem. So now we'll need to go over and move back to the fief that we wanted to gather. Move over there. Gathering resources is actually good as well for fief quests. I didn't spoke about that yet, but I'll show you the fief quests real quick. When I go to Herstikvara, I can show you what these are and how to complete them in this video as well. So I'm gonna do that. So if you go to any city, you can either go there by just walking there, or you can press a map and click on it, and you'll see that there is an overview. You can go there, overview. Then you have a tab open up. You'll see the local products which are able to be crafted there. The fief quests, which I'm going to talk about, fief treasury, chronicles, message board, etc. So for the fief quests, I'm going to go and look at the Herstikvara ones. I know I can't complete any here, because if there is an exclamation mark next to this, you'll know that you have a quest that you can complete here. But we'll just go over and look at the fief quests. So the fief quests here are 2-star and all the way up to 4-star. 4-star is actually really good. Can go up to 6, but 4-star is good. Why are fief quests actually worth your time? Because you do get a decent amount of honor for them. So if I complete this one, I'll get 350 honor, 200 experience, which is house experience, and some prestige. How to complete them? Well, you'll just need to bring these resources into this fief, and then just press complete quest. So for this one, you'll need 44,000 coarse copper, which you can go and gather, like I'm showing in this video, from certain points. For example, you can go over to a coarse copper field, a cotton field. Like this is a fine cotton field. The cotton field I'm looking for is a green one, I thought. So let me see, there should be some around here actually. Where is it? Long cotton field. Well, I might need to cut this out of the video because this is awkward. I can't find him at this time. Oh well, just gonna click on this again and see what it was, because I already forgot. So it's coarse cotton. So I need to find a green one. There's bound to be one around here somewhere, but I just can't find it for some reason. Where is it? Where is it? I might be just blind. It should be here somewhere, though. Or we might have none in this region. So I'm just going to look over to the other regions real quick and look if I can find one there. For example, here you have a coarse cotton field where you can gather those resources for the fief quest. But you'll need to be able to pass the borderlines, go and gather them, and go back. So it is quite of a ways off for this fief quest. So I don't recommend doing that one, but there are actually other fief quests you can do, which are much easier, which we will always post in the Discord, so that you'll know which one you can do fairly quickly and get a nice amount of honor for them. So yeah, let's move up to the resources then. You'll see this one again. This is a stables in our allied territory, which I won't need to pay any taxes from if I gather here. The problem is we are being attacked by a lot of houses, which prohibit us gathering in these regions. So we are kind of limited in what we can gather, but it's fine. We can also just go over to these Jogurmas and gather here, which is permitted at this time. So yeah, Once I go over there, I'm gonna stop the video, show you one more yield, and then I'll show you how to get back, uh, and then stop the video after. So yeah, it does take some time traveling around, but that's okay. Normally you'll be able to do other stuff as well. Like me, I'll be looking at my units at this time, trying to gather some information on how I've been doing on them. So you can actually, I'll show you this. So if you go into your barracks, you'll be able to, well, I'm being attacked by a rebel. I'm just gonna pay for now, just because I don't want to do another rebel battle. You should, if you get attacked by a rebel, you should always try to attack because it does give some resources and it's not that bad. It does take a bit of time, but it's okay. But for this video purpose, I'm just gonna skip it and pay up the bronze. So yeah, I was talking about the units. So while I'm traveling, I like to see and gather some knowledge on how I'm being doing with these. So for example, if you press on a certain unit, like the Imperial Pikes, you can see a few details. And then you'll see career, and then you'll see how well they have been doing in the game. So I check this out because I want to know how I am doing with these units, if I am any good with them or not. And I plan my territory war, my siege battle, unit kits, or unit setup, sorry, to tailor to my skills. So, for example, my Imperial Pikes are not that bad because I do have an average troop guild of 35.1 in a battle, which is not bad. It's quite good actually. Average deaths per match is 20.7. So you'll see that it's more than double. So I do kill double the amount of units with this on average than they die on average. So for a fact, I know my Coteliers I suck with them. I'm really bad with them. So you'll see that these are much lower. So they die more often than I actually get unit kills from them. So I know I'm really not that good with them. They are not that high level as well. But still, it does say to me, these are not my types of units. I don't know how to play with them. I should either try and get better with them, or I don't like playing with them and I'll take something else into battles. So yeah, we're moving up. So we are actually here and seeing some La Guardia Civil, which is hostile to us. They might attack us, but that's something I can show you in the video as well then, which is not that bad. So the stables or the gathering of forces is quite different. It does cost a lot of bronze. As you can see, it's 7.5k bronze for just gathering ones here. Oh, perfect. An abandoned crate. So if you walk about the open world and see these pop up, always go and gather them. It doesn't cost anything, just a bit of time to go out of your ways, but you'll get some nice rewards from them sometimes. So I do get an uncommon helmet schematic from this, which I can't sell because it's not bound, which is okay, but sometimes you can actually find skill pages, etc. in this. So it's always worthwhile or worth your time to gather these. So horses are something different. You can't actually, they're not a resource in a normal sense. They are used to as unit kits for your cavalry units. So I'll show you here in my cavalry. If you want to give them kits, you'll need some genets, which you can gather in these tables and some Cotelier kits. So the reason they are actually quite expensive, cavalry, because you need to replenish both the horses and the unit kits. So if you go and gather some with bronze, this actually will make it be a bit more durable and be a bit more cost heavy if you want to just do it like this. You'll need to pay a lot of money. So yeah, let's just gather some. I'm gonna use a requisition for this just to show you what that does because I just gathered on the other ones. You saw that it went to 0. I couldn't gather that anymore. So now I'm gonna use a requisition and you'll see this stays at 1. So you can actually just use your requisition orders as much as you want after you use your daily yields. So now I've got some horses in my wagon. So I'm gonna show you my wagon. Oh, sorry, just gonna show me my wagon. You'll see that I gathered 25 genets and some coursers from that stable. You don't get that much from it because they are actually worth a lot, these horses. So you'll need to gather quite a lot to replenish your cavalry, for example, or you can actually just sell these on the market as well if you want. So yeah, that's a short video on how to gather resources in the game. I'm gonna move back to Torol Varas. And if I'm gonna be attacked, I'll stream it, I'll record it. But if not, I'm gonna I'm gonna end this video here. Thanks for watching. See ya. Bye bye.